Well, here's the project. Front door from a home, Milwaukee home, 1922 original front door. So you can see what we're going to have to do here. This panel is just come apart. So it's veneer, and then this is some kind of, I don't know what it is. But we want to fix this up. What I got ordered is a PVC raised panel. So first I think we're going to we'll strip this off. We'll get this down to this layer. We'll have to get this glued up. This doesn't work at all. No latch, no lock. So we'll get that off. This must have been added on. That's a deadbolt. Works from both sides. So I think we'll continue on. Like I say, it'll be like 4 things we're going to do here. We're going to strip. We're going to repair this panel. We're going to restain all this, and then this PVC panel, we'll do some faux wood graining on it, and then we'll look into the latch and see if I can fix the latch. So I think we'll start with we'll take off this latch hardware, then we'll get it flipped over and see what it looks like on the other side. Hopefully I don't have to touch the other side. I don't want to touch the inside. It's looking good, but we can clean that and we can see what color we need to do. And this is what I use. All wood. AUL. Wood. We'll see if it works on this. Maybe let it soak a little longer. It'll look good. Good enough. Well, after about an hour, rubbing it about 2 times, should come pretty clean. I did use just a dab of denatured alcohol in this spot here. Just put a little on the rag, rubbed it. It did kind of snot up, it got sticky real quick, but geez, it really took it up then. And then just more of that all wood. And I think it come out pretty nice. Because if I were to refinish the inside, then I'd have to do all the frame, you know, all the woodwork around it, because it wouldn't match. So I think this will be just fine. So now I think what we'll do is we'll get it flipped over again, and I think we'll start cutting out that panel, cut out the veneer of that panel, and see where that leads us. All right, here we go. I'm trying it with the knife here, but I don't think we can get right up into the edge. See, and if I break it out, I got that messed up. So I'm going to try using the oscillating tool. Spider nests or something. Yeah, that seems to get right up into the edge. A little tougher going down here. Well, but then none of the glue is working there. See it when it breaks away. So now I've already cut here. And now I'm using the oscillating saw in here to do the glue joint too. Well, quite a bit more work, but not much more to go. We'll get her done. Well, that went well. Everything come out nice and clean there. So now we've got to address this spot here. I don't know if you can really see it on the camera how much it scoops up right there in the middle. So I think what my plan is, I'm going to cut this right there. I'm going to go at it with a little bit stronger blade here. Go at it at an angle like this. It's not attached to the veneer underneath there. At least when I push on it, it doesn't move. I feel it's not attached. It's not, the glue's separated from the veneer. So we're going to cut this out so when we get down to the veneer, we'll be able to push that veneer down, and maybe have to put a little glue on it. But then I'm going to fill this in with Bondo glass. Bondo with fiberglass in it. And that'll make it nice and strong, flat, and give that veneer support instead of just having nothing. That's why it's all cracked in now. So hopefully this is going to work. I'm going to turn around here and give it a try. Well, she might have chipped through a little bit, but I'm gonna work with both hands here. I'll get a putty knife under here, make sure I'm not gonna get to that veneer, and I'll cut it out. Well, got more of a hole than I wanted. Well, maybe we can find that piece underneath there when I flip it over, and we can glue it back in. But so I flattened that all off. Now it's all nice and flat. No more waves. No more waves on it. So this will get filled in with the Bondo glass. Whatever Bondo comes through, you know, we can just sand that off and then just color it and, you know, put a little faux wood grain on there. Hopefully it'll turn out all right. But I guess what else? It's so thin and so brittle, but it won't be the worst thing. So that'd be the next step. I think we're going to put some Bondo glass on there, and we'll see how it turns out. So, missed a piece broke out of there. So what I did was took some of the old stuff. I cut a piece to fit. I made a square hole or a rectangle here. Then I cut this piece to fit. And we'll put some glue in there. And we'll get it in there. Then I scraped with the knife. So I scraped with the knife anyhow. And that was, I was able to get the darkest spots off. So I'm just going to put some glue right there and there. And we'll get it in there. And we'll see how it looks. Okay, I guess that's in. And then we'll put some stain on there. We're going to be using a gel stain. And hopefully it'll blend in good enough. Nobody will notice. But I got to get some glue on these now so those don't fall apart. I think I got to flip it over again and do it from the other side. At least we got this one in. Okay, here's what we're doing this time. We're putting glue in. That's right down to the veneer. And then through that crack, work it down in there. Work this in. Right into that crack. That'll hold all those strands of veneer together, I'm hoping. So it's got some strength. And then we'll put the Bondo glass on it to fill in that. And let's hope that works. So the glue has dried. It's given strength to the wood here, to the veneer. So now we're going to use up the Bondo glass and mix this up real quick. Show you how this goes. This has fiberglass in it to give it extra strength instead of just regular Bondo that you put on the car. That can only go about 1/8 inch thick. This is a little bit thicker. So here's the trick here. I'm going to put it on the side and figure out a gob. Maybe that much, maybe a little more. Maybe that much. Then we got to put the hardener in it. And then we have to mix it in, get it all one color. You don't want to have red and green or nothing. I'm mixing it right here on the edge of this seam here because I'm going to use this as the putty knife, so I don't have to clean nothing else off. I'm just using this stick to mix it, so I don't clean nothing up. Alright, there's all one color. Now we'll shove it in that void area. Pushing it in there. Going this way, going that way. There was a lot of hardener in there, so it's going to harden up pretty quick. It's already getting hard. So that's why I did it on the angle here. I can use that as a squeegee. Done. Bondo's done. Strengthened it up. I don't even know if I have to sand it. I think it's flat enough. We'll see when we get that PVC piece. So now we'll do some stripping. It says I got 15 minutes for it to work. So I think I'm just going to do this little section down here. The only tin can I had in the house. I already shook the can. Maybe that much. And then it says you got to brush it in one direction only. A thick layer. Ooh, I almost went the other way. It's interesting, it said on the can there, you have to throw it away after 30 days once you open it. Maybe I should have bought a bigger can. I got a little left, I guess I'll go over here. Looks a little dry too. All right, be back in 15 minutes. 15 minutes. Oh, look at that. Wow. I might not even have to restain this thing, huh? That's pretty. Look at how nice. I didn't think it was going to be that nice. Oh, I should have shut up. Got it there. let's see how this part turned out though. Just take a look over here. I don't know if I should use that or just use this. Oh, look at that. Maybe I should just use that. I'm going to use this rag. It's going to throw away anyhow. There's this. Then it said to clean it off with mineral spirits. And I'm going to use some steel wool. That's really sticky. Ew. I wonder if I shouldn't just put another coat on. That's really sticky. Yeah, this ain't working down here. No, I can go this other way. Well, put some more on. That's what we'll do. I'll put another coat on and we'll let it sit another 15 minutes and see what happens. Another 15 minutes. Well, there's still a lot on there, isn't there? Wow. So I guess we got to do two, well, even more there. Doesn't look as nice as the first time now, does it? Now I'm going to have to stain it. veneer's coming off there. Well, let's just see if this mineral spirits. Oh, much better. You can see it pulling up the rest of it now. Getting it out of the grain, I suppose. Oh, that still needs some more there though, doesn't it? Look at that.
Do you just let that dry then and sweep it off?
Apparently. Well, that video I just watched, another guy, he got it all cleaned up and then he put on lacquer thinner to clean it more and then washed it off with water. But I think that would be our last step we'd want to do, wouldn't it be? I'm going to have to get more down here. And more in here. I might as well try the brush, huh? That works better.
That looks a lot better.
So, I think we'll put some more on these spots. And then we'll do another section also. So this is on a third coat. So you can see where it's shiny and then where it's dull. So I believe this is completely clean. And this is where there's still some of the varnish or this, whatever this stuff is. So that has to be scraped off, and then one more time with the steel wool and the mineral spirits, and I think we'll have it. Then we'll just do the rest. We'll do 3 coats on the whole door. Well, tried the next batch of stripping here, and it didn't come out very well. It seemed like it dried out. The wind kind of picked up, and I don't know if that was drying it off. So we have a bunch of wax paper, so I'm putting wax paper over it. Pressed it down in there. And then I thought, well, I wonder if this is going to work. So I went and looked on the internet, and people use saran wrap all the time. I was just wondering if this was safe, if it was going to catch on fire or something, but apparently it doesn't. And they say to leave it for a few hours or even overnight. So it's been on there now for about a half hour, and I don't know, looks like it's working better. They say you won't have to do as many coats, so we'll leave that on for a couple hours and check back with it after that. So we're still at it, getting to the end of it here. This seems to be the good tool, the Hyde 10520, just a paint scraper. You can see when you get into this, it just kind of smears it. It's not really getting it off. But with this, I can get into it, and I'm actually getting down into the wood. So I know I'm getting it all off, except for the stuff that's down in the grain. I've been using this to get at that. This is the first try at it, the first coat. So I think it's going to need another coat. And then again, we can just Scrape that, look at that, it goes all the way right down. Nice. Get in that little groove. I know I might be disturbing the wood a little bit, but it's all right. It'll be okay. You can see I get a lot of it out of there. And then back at it with the brush. See, that kind of smooths it around, but I haven't even been using the what's it called? The mineral spirits anymore. Just seems to work just as well without it, so why use it? Kind of balls up like a eraser and just kind of falls down like that, so seems to be fine by me. But when I get into this wet stuff, sometimes I'll go through with the putty knife and try to scoop it out of there. But that's the ticket. So there we go. We're almost done with this portion of it, and we'll catch you on the next side. After 3 coats of stripper and rubbing it with the paint scraper, here's the color of everything. So not very even. Hopefully I've got enough stripped off, and then we'll apply this wood bleach, oxalic acid they call it. I think I'm going to start up here. This is where it's really, you know, it was really dark here. But then they say you can't get it on glass. So I'm going to have to be careful here. Mix it with hot water, brush it on, and then make it the way you want it to look, they say. So hopefully it's going to turn out. This is the lightest part down here. And then that's because that screen door ended up right here. So I think that we'll be able to try to match from here where it's lighter to where it's darker. So we'll apply the bleach here first. On this side, of course up here where it was really dark. And I'm going to stay away from this really light spot. So warm water and wood bleach. We'll apply it, and you'll see it later. Three coats of oxalic acid one coat for the rest. You can see here the difference way over here from here to there. So I haven't gone up here yet because I'm afraid of the window. I've got to figure out something for the window so it's not to have anything on there. So I tried to get this as light as I could, but that's 3 coats. But now it says I gotta rinse it 3 times. So I'm just gonna hit it with the hose now. We'll hit it 3 times. That is quite a difference. So as the door is drying, we're going to work on the screen portion here. You can see all this wood has been nailed together and this trim piece here, so it looks kind of nasty. We're going to change this into PVC, and what we're going to do is, in order to find the arc of this, I saw this on a this old house, Tommy Silva. I guess this is just a thing that old carpenters do. What they do is they measure how far it is. In this case, it's 17 inches. Then at the center, in this case, it's 3.5 inches. We take those 3 points and we put that on here. So 17 inches and 17 inches. We put a nail in each one. 17 inches. We find the center and we go up 3.5 inches then. So there's our 17 and up 3.5. Then we just need to add one more nail. We go up here 3.5, up from this nail, and we'll add another nail in. You can see I've already done this, so the hole's there. And then, apparently this is geometry. We take 2 sticks of wood. We make sure it's touching these 3 nails, and we glue it. We glued it with some super glue. Then at that point, we don't need that nail anymore. And then what we do is we saddle this pencil in, and then we make sure that the pencil stays right there in the saddle. You can kind of push on it, you can feel it. And then you make sure it stays on this screw, or this nail and this nail. And you draw the arc. Right around. Move it over to here. Start here. Get it in the saddle. Hitting both nails. Bring it around. Draw the arc. And then knowing that it's going from here to from one edge of the door to the next edge of the door, it needed to be at 90 degrees. So what I did was draw 45 here and a 45 there. And this is the old molding I took off. I super glued it together to make sure my math worked. So then I went up 3/4 of an inch because this is 3/4 inch wide. Set in the 3 nails up there. Set the 4th one over there. Did the same thing with the stick. Resting on all 4. Glued it. Removed that nail and drew the arc. So that's how that works.
Woo!
Well, it's all in good shape. This is nice and smooth, but this part here is pretty rough. Maybe I can sand it up for when we do the graining, it'll look better if it's smooth. But this is the panel, so I've got about 1/8 of an inch gap that way, and I have to cut this side, well, both sides, center it. It's about 1 inch too long. I knew that when I ordered it only comes about 26 by 26, and that panel isn't square. So we'll cut off the sides next. So we're going to cut it on the table saw. When you use this sled here, this is just a piece of wood that fits into this groove, and it's then this is square to the blade. And it just pushes past the through there. We're going to measure 1/2 inch. We're going to use a spacer block here. This would be 1/2 inch to this side of the blade because I need to get rid of 1 inch. I'm going to take 1/2 inch on each side. Then we just place this in there. Just to get our right measurement from the blade. Stick this on and plug her in. Cut. See how it fits. So looking at this square edge here looks a little drastic, so I think we can soften it up, maybe put a profile on it like that. We'll do that with the router. Let's see what that looks like. Ooh, much better. All right, next we start the graining process. So now we're going to begin the process of the faux graining. And this is a graining base. Yeah, and it's that color. You wouldn't think that would work, and it wouldn't look nice, but that orange or that yellowish color.
It's called maple.
And yeah, it's a maple. So what we have to do is start getting this on here. We have to think about how a door is made to get the graining right. So this will all be grained this way. The true raised panel is grained the whole way, this way. And then between here and here, it's done this way. Up here too. So we want to start brushing it this way and this way. You won't see any grain at this point, but we just want to make sure that we brush it that way. So we're beginning the process here. It's going to be quite a process. We have to put this on, and it's going to take 24 hours to dry, and then we can mask off and do the other process of the faux graining. So what we're trying to do here is, see how there's already brush streaks and whatnot. We want to make sure that we have that straight, and then we're going to end up here, we're going to go this way on this part of it, because that's the way they make a door. These are always long. There's this bristle in there. I got it out. But then this is going to be long also. All this is going to be long except for the top and the bottom. So now I did sand this. Here I said it was really rough in these grooved parts. It was really rough, so I did some 60 grit sandpaper on there. And then I did say
On what?
in the grooves.
Okay.
Down in this area. But then where it was really smooth, I just did some 220 grit sandpaper to make sure that it would stick. So yeah, real rough sanding and real smooth sanding so it would grip. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to get this all in here. Got a lot of work to do here. And this is just the base. And then after that, we're going to do the graining process, which is going to be done in sections and sections and sections. We've got the base on there, but you can see why you want to have the strokes going the right way. Because see where we're already trying to make, you can see some grain going around already. All right, this is dried for 24 hours and we're ready to do our first part of faux graining, which is called flogging. And it's done with this brush. I don't know what it's made of, but it's some natural bristle, some animal hair, you know. And then we have to use a gel varnish or stain, or a wiping stain they call it. Not a penetrating stain. So it's got to be with the thick, that's the thick stuff. And we just apply a little bit. It doesn't take much at all. That's too much. And then we flog. Oh, I just started about and work way up. And this puts the little tiny rays in the grain. Can you see it's already starting to look like wood grain? So we've done the flogging vertically, and you can see the difference between the base coat and the flogging. See, this looks almost perfect like wood grain. But it'll even get better. So now we remove the tape from this area. We taped off these areas, and now we're going to put the stain on there and give it some more flogging. We've got both of the horizontal areas flogged, and this is why we tape it off, so you can see the difference in the grain from, oh, look a little bit there, the vertical and the horizontal grain. See here? That looks so much better. Now it looks like a framed piece of wood. It's really coming together, isn't it? Check it out. Now you can really see the difference there. See, now the grain's starting to come together. All right, the flogging part is done and everything's dry. Now there's two more tools. This rocking tool does a heart grain, and this comb, combination comb it's called. And so what this will be used, I'm going to split this up into two pieces of wood. A board doesn't come this big, it wouldn't look natural. So we're going to make a little glue joint right down the middle of it. We're going to make this into two boards. So I measured this, it's 18 inches. This is 9 inches wide. This tool will be used in the middle. Then the combing tool, I like using this one that has the graduated. Most all the other ones are just the same. But this one you can see they go from large to small. It looks more natural. And we'll do this in the middle and then this on the outside, and that will give us a perfect amount. And I'll show you what we're doing with this. No, I didn't like that one. My tool's getting hard, I think. Gotta really apply some pressure to it. I'm not liking that yet. This is kind of nice. You can just keep trying it until you get the way you like it. Flip this tool around, I think. See if it works better the other way here. I like that. And then we go with the wide towards here. Flip it around the other way. And that's going to be tough here. What we're going to do. And then we'll do this rail here too now. off to the side here a little bit. A little extra grain here. Magic! And now just to finish it, to soften this, we use this brush. You're supposed to have another type of brush. I forgot what it was called, but this one works just fine. And it kind of blurs out the lines so they're not so crisp. And just go real soft. Can you see how that's working at all, or no?
Mm-hmm.
I did this one too. There. Now that we know what the color is going to be on the panel, of course we're going to use the same color here, but to see how dark we have to make it, I got the panel sitting right underneath the, right over there. And we'll put some of this on. You know, we want to match the same tone of it. See, like that'd be too light. So you got to put a lot on it. Might take 2 coats.
Oh, you got it. Woo!
So I think what we'll do is do it in 2 coats.
Do you flog in between or no?
There's no flogging now. This is all natural wood. It's already got grain on it, so we don't have to put grain on it. So if you want to, I guess we could.
No.
But I don't think so. We'll just do 2 coats. So I'll finish up this coat and we'll see you after that. All right, we're ready to cut the PVC board for the arch for the screen window. So I'm going to use the tools I got. I run bandsaw, I just got jigsaw. I tried a scroll saw. That really didn't work very good at all. So this is what I got. It works. All right. Let's go make a mess.
Done.
No. And you can see the profile of it there. And then we'll go and cut the inside line. And then when we go to router that, I just left this as a, oops, excuse me, this piece. I just set that piece like that. And I was able to router. I use this piece here just to keep my router from tipping so much. And I was able to router it like that. And cut the ends, and it'll go and fit on the door like this. Door's out getting dried in the sun right now. We'll look at that later. We'll put that panel in. All right, here we are. 2 coats of stain on it. I actually had to do some grain work on this because it looked a little muddy. Didn't like the way it looked. It kind of just hid everything. So I did the grain work here with the same, you know, the comb. I did the comb on that. And then this is 4 coats of the spar varnish. I did, and then sanded in between each one. The third one I did a sponge brush, and I don't know if it was a sponge brush or there was a little bit too much wind, but it turned out flat and nasty looking. Didn't like it at all. Sanded it again and put the last coat on with a nylon brush, and well, now it looks good. It's been 2 or 3 days here. It looks good. So now we're going to be putting on the panel. The panel's all done. It's all grained up nice. Looks good. Remember, it's just a piece of PVC. And what we're going to do is use, I'm just going to use this caulking, whatever that is. I didn't want to use adhesive. It seems to get too brittle. I wanted to bead around the whole perimeter so little bugs and whatnot can't get in there. But then I wanted to also go this way with the grain of the wood, because this wood would expand and contract this way. So we'll just put a couple of things this way. And then I wanted to leave, in case any water did get behind, that it could drain out the bottom. So hopefully that'll hold it on. If it doesn't, if it falls off, I could just go through and put some screws through the other side. But let's just hope this will work. We'll put this plop on there. Give her a little wiggle with it. That's it. We got the pieces there for the screen door. The arch pieces and the straight pieces are all cut out of the PVC, all painted up. Got the screen door all painted up, looking sexy. We'll pop that on. I'm going to use brad nails instead of screws. I think that we'll be just fine with the brad nails through the air gun, and then we'll show you that next. Moving on with putting the trim onto the screen door portion of it. I think the best way is we'll just, I was going to do screws, but I think this screen isn't going to get abused much. It looks like it's been on here forever. So we'll just do little pin nails, brad nails. Clamp it down here, get it lined up. Actually, probably just go right there. And we'll just put it in with these little, I got that long of nails. And I had to back off. This PVC is really soft, a lot softer than wood. So with the, it would sink in way too far, almost go all halfway through. So I had to really back off this adjustment so it just ends up in the right spot. Just like that. Isn't it pretty? And then with these, we'll just cut these to length. And do the same there and there. And at the bottom, of course. And we'll just put them in with the nails like that. Here's the finished product. Got it all up and installed. Here's all the PVC stuff that I did. Trim. And then there's the door. All in all, I'm happy with it. And the owners like it too, so that's all that matters. It was a fun project.